Hey everybody, JANG here with a look at the LEGO City Spaceport set. Comes with 586 pieces as well as 5 minifigures we'll look at later. I think the name of the set is a little bit off because it's not really a spaceport set. Most of what you get in the set centers around what you see right here, which is the American style space shuttle system with its whole launch system, and it also has a little mobile crawler platform to launch it off. This is looking pretty good to me actually, and it went together pretty nicely. LEGO has made much larger versions of shuttles in the past, and this is not looking to compete with those. This is in the City series, so it's intended to be, simple builds, lower parts count, and really made to be just to play with the minifigures, less than some of those bigger, more expert-oriented sets were. So for what they were going for, I think that they did a pretty good job. This is able to launch off its platform quite easily. It's just kind of set down in there. It's pretty secure. It's not going to fall over easily, but it launches up pretty easily. And then you can remove the solid booster rockets off the sides, and those can actually kind of launch out diagonally the way that they're supposed to. These come off. Each SRB is not much to look at, a bunch of cylinder pieces, Technic bar on the side just to hold it into the fuel tank. Interesting choice of the use of color underneath. And then up on the top they did put one of those astromech droid heads up there just to tip the whole thing. And then you're just left with the shuttle and the fuel tank, and I do want to point out that the shuttle is angled back just a little bit. You can see it's higher in the front right now, so when this is vertical it is leaning outwards a little bit. Just that little bit of realism in there. They actually put a ball joint at the back to allow that to happen. So then here's your liquid fuel tank by itself, and there's that little flat area that they put onto it. There's the ball connector that's up at one end. Again, fairly simple, straightforward construction here. The cylinder pieces are halves. They have these large, actually Technic bricks, the round bricks that are 6 studs wide. Those will definitely come in handy, especially in this very useful neutral color. I appreciate that. And then up top, you've got this nice smoothed half cone piece, which is topped off with one of the relatively recent tile pieces, the smooth tile with a hole in the center. So this is another nice looking mold. A large piece, but if they make that in a number of different colors in the future, it'll definitely come in handy, I think. And that brings us finally to the shuttle itself, the orbiter vehicle, which is actually designed very, very similar to the last space shuttle from 2011, which I reviewed in 2013. This one just brings in some newer pieces. Chief among those newer molds is this sure-to-be controversial large canopy piece, which is printed on the front to get the thrusters up there, but these are stickers on the sides for the logos. But this, compared to the last one, is a lot more realistic. This older one was basically just used for helicopters and planes, and then they just had a printed version of it. But now they've got something that looks much more specialized for use with the shuttle. It remains to be seen if they'll actually try to use this for other types of craft as well, like aircraft. I think that it could be used for like a bullet train as well, but we'll just have to see. And then back here we now have in white the pieces that were used for the front of the snowplow, the city snowplow. It was released actually at the end of 2014 for the early 2015 series. These are nice round pieces that will certainly get a lot of use, and that gives you a nice large cargo bay. I like how the cargo bay doors open smoothly now because you've got just the regular clip style hinges. Over here you've got the all-important Canadarm, which folds in nicely. You don't have to do too much origami with it to make it work, and then you can just turn the end of this around, and this actually fits right in there perfectly to catch the edge, little bar edge on this cargo here, which is the little satellite, and then you can deploy its solar panels. I appreciate the use of a little bit of gold on there for a little bit of believability. This does have a couple of stickers, one on each of the panels, just to give you a little bit of the solar panel kind of design, and then you can place this wherever you want it to be and then release it. It's just holding onto the bar right there. So the Canadarm actually works quite well. It's not super long, but it plays well with the context of what we have here. And then you can also open up the front canopy, or remove the entire canopy to fully open this, and that's kind of disappointing to me. You just have that printed slope piece, and that's it. No control levers or anything. There is enough space for 2 minifigures, so you can have a pilot and a co-pilot, but they just kind of sit in there kind of plain, and there's just enough room, interestingly, for the front one to just barely fit under there. But yeah, it just looks kind of plain, but at least it will hold the two. With everything closed back up, we can kind of continue our tour around to the back. These side thrusters are done, and their cowlings are done very similar to the last version, but this one does add the inclined little thruster complex, or motor complex right there, that's actually angled upwards. So that looks a little bit more realistic. And then you've got your elevons here, or ailerators, whatever you want to call those combined horizontal control surfaces. The very large tail, which is just completely static. Another moving part over here on the side, and that's pretty much it. They also incorporated a little bit of forward rake when it's on the ground on its landing gear. The gear do not retract, but that doesn't really bother me that much. But you've got a nice angle there, and you also have enough room to put it into a landing position with that really high angle of attack. I think younger kids will really like this launcher platform because it's low and wide and has the kind of tractor crane kind of cab on it. It's got these wide flat tires, and it just has a lot of grip because these are real rubber. It's not sliding around. It feels strong, you know, and it's super, super low to the ground. Fairly straightforward and simple construction. Has a couple of interesting bits to it, but I mean, it's pretty much what you see is what you get. But I really like that look from the side myself, just appreciating construction equipment and such, which this kind of feels like it takes some inspiration from. Just has a very simple cab for a single operator. You can see he's got the steering wheel. You can just remove all of this to get access to it. And it even has a couple ladders, one on either side, to help your figure to climb in. Plenty of space in the box for him, that's for sure. Set also includes this small ground transport, which I like quite a bit. It's got a nice use of the opaque windscreen piece up on the front to make the whole thing look nice and low. Basically, you put a driver right here. It's kind of like a taxi driver, and then you put your 2 astronauts on the sides to transport them out to the shuttle when it's time for them to get ready to launch. And they do include a couple of spare normal style helmets for them, and that's pretty much all there is to this. It's simple, but I like it. There's a very basic communication tower here with a dish on it, and then you also get the 3, 2, 1 little countdown timer, which is fun just for kids who want to play the countdown game. And that brings us to figures. So these 2 astronauts look absolutely identical with everything closed up, front and back. They've remolded that same breathing apparatus and life support system piece from Atlantis. They've got it in white here. And then when you take those off, you can see the differences are in the face right there. Same torso used between these, but you get 1 male and 1 female. Of course, you can swap these around with the other figures in the set. Here's what they look like from the back. And then you have your 3 non-astronaut figures here, and I very much like the one on the left. That's just a nicely done figure. And it also has a printed tile piece in the hand right there, showing a blueprint of the shuttle system. I'm really surprised they did that as a print. And I do like these torsos on these over here as well. The last one is myself. I guess LEGO designers figured that with all the time that I spend doing the builds and working on the reviews and such, that I would need some coffee. Well, in real life, I don't drink coffee, thank you very much, but I appreciate the thought. And there's just what those torsos all look like from the back. All told, I think it's a pretty good set for what it is. Well designed, it has a appropriate use of parts. It's simple enough to put together, yet things make sense, and you know, it's good to play with. I wish there was a little bit more detail on the inside of the shuttle, but it's not too bad. Now the problem with this set has already been well established by the LEGO fan community. It's the price. Now this does have a lot of large pieces, so I don't expect it to come in at the 10-cent per piece kind of price points, which is normal, but this is more like double that. Now, is this the result of the fact that LEGO is a company and all companies are evil and greedy and just make prices higher and higher over time? Well, compare this to 1995's Shuttle Launch Pad set, which was very similar to this, set number 6339. Adjust that one's original retail price for inflation, and the price per part on that one is very similar to this one. This one's a little bit higher, but this one I feel does give you more value, and it's definitely a larger set. The volume of what you get because of the larger pieces is much greater. And I mean much greater. I also got this set at the same time as the most recent Star Wars shuttle set, coincidentally. And that one has more parts, but it has a similar volume of stuff that you end up with, maybe even a little bit less. And the prices are similar between the two. So just on the basis of comparison to similar things from now and from the past, this is actually in about the right price range for what you get. But I do have to still agree with the rest of the LEGO fan community that this feels like an expensive set. What I think it comes down to is something that nobody can really argue with, and that is that LEGO is expensive. And I think that this set right here just happens to fall into a very strange kind of uncanny valley sort of effect where the size of the pieces, the parts count, and the overall volume of what you get when you put this all together just doesn't feel right next to the price. I encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts about the price of this and other sets wherever you like to discuss things with the rest of the community. Please do leave your thoughts on this video as well down in the comments, and also say what you think about the set aside from its price. That's it for my thoughts. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that I showed you everything that you wanted to see about the set, and I hope that you'll feel free to leave your thoughts in comments down below. More videos on the way, so I'll be talking to you again soon.